I want to keep it as authentic and genuine as possible. And I don't want it to seem like I'm selling the army or I'm selling a branch. There are pros and cons to every walk of life, every occupation that is out there. So, what are some challenges that you might have faced just in the military in general that you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, so I think some of the most challenging, one of the most challenging things you're going to encounter while being a staff lieutenant is making CBRN matter. Uh, I mean, if you guys have probably put on JS list, put on a pro mask, and you've seen how hot it gets in there, how uncomfortable it gets, how hard it is to go ahead and move and to just do normal things. Nobody wants to go ahead and do that. Nobody like training already gets like tough as it is, and everybody's already sweating as it is in the summertime. Nobody wants to go ahead and have to put on the full PPE and everything. So a lot of the times, you'll see that C-run training might get pushed to the side, and they'll push it off and keep pushing it off and be like, okay, we're going to do the bare minimum training. So I think that's the most challenging aspect you're probably going to encounter is making it matter, making it relevant, and making it worthwhile for soldiers to go ahead and train it. Working with my NCOIC, we're able to build a plan to go and get everybody trained. But it's not just just to meet like the Army regulations on training CBRN. No, this is to give them training in preparation for when they do EIB, for when they do ESB, Expert Soldier Badge or Expert Infantry Badge. This is to give them extra reps there because that is something that a lot of the enlistment they're looking for points. That's something that a lot of officers are looking for as some chest candy. So make it worthwhile to them, give them some useful training that they're not going to use just now. They're going to continue to use. Give them a good refresher. So I think that's really how you turn that challenge into something that's worthwhile for yourself and worthwhile for everybody else. Um, I think that's definitely the most challenging part.
Thank you for that, sir. Well said. What about career advancement? You mentioned being a platoon leader briefly. You mentioned staff life, but can you talk about that for a little bit? The opportunities that exist in the chemical corps.
Yes. So again, being in the staff, you really only have, or I'm sorry, being as a lieutenant, you really only have a couple of things that you are really able to go ahead and do. You can go and do your staff time, you can do your PL time, your XO time. You might even have the chance to go ahead and be an aide to a commander. But when it comes to later progressions, I was actually looking these things up, and it's pretty interesting. For once you're past, like your when your KD completes, key development complete for like say a captain or for a major, you actually have the opportunity to um, get these research and development jobs with throughout the army. One such job that I had seen last year was working with a small team in Maryland, and this team was in charge of developing new JS lists. So one like example was developing new gloves that could work with cell phones. So like right now we're switching to new communications while we're out in the field, and being able to use your JS list while being able to use those communications is going to be key because if you can't communicate, then you can't move, you can't do anything logistical. So one of that was really cool. That's something that I saw, something really to go ahead and put some really thought into while working with a research and development team like that. Another opportunity that was actually presented to myself was the opportunity to work here in Germany, but to work as a NATO liaison up at an embassy because they needed somebody to go ahead and run their CBRN cell while they're up there. But yeah, so you have so many different opportunities to go ahead and excel and to really specialize within the CBRN world. But again, a lot of these opportunities come after your lieutenant, after your captain time is complete. But I mean, even within those two zones, like your lieutenant, your captain time, you still have a lot of opportunity to work with soldiers from different walks, different backgrounds within the Army as well.
Leaders, I cannot say thank you enough for tuning in and watching this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and interact with the community of leaders that we're building right here on this channel.